Hey, you guys, welcome to our class number 6. This is mood and emotional well-being. We are excited to be here with you guys, and there was kind of a bumpy start, and we're just going to be teaching to you guys in the classroom today. So what I want you guys to ask yourselves is, what is the mood that you've been feeling lately? And what I mean by that is, have you been feeling content? Have you been bored? Have you been frustrated or worried? If you'll go ahead and put in the chat something that you've been feeling emotional, maybe you've been, scrambled. Maybe you've had your mind going all over the place. Maybe you've been a little sad or excited or scared. So go ahead and put that in the chat while we're getting started here. I want to remind you guys that we have Tuesday night classes every Tuesday night. They are at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. And then you'll just figure out your time zone, because we know people are here from across the United States. And we are on class number 6, which is mood and emotional well-being. Now, so why do we ask? Like, why is it important for us to ask how you're feeling? Because sometimes, you guys, stress shows up in our body in different ways. So everything from muscle tension in your shoulders, maybe your lower back is hurting a little bit. Maybe you feel like you've got tension in your head. Or how many of you guys have had that gut sick feeling where it's like, gosh, my stomach is just upset all the time, and I'm not really sure why? Well, when we hold on to different emotions, especially when we have them over time, they compound, and they actually will start getting bigger and bigger. And those emotions turn into dis-ease in our body. So what's the cost of us staying angry or sick to our stomach or upset or disappointed or worried about things all the time? Well, it shows up in different places. So anger, for instance, is something that can weaken your liver. Now, when you have experienced a lot of grief, it weakens your lungs. And so sometimes you guys might have felt, the pressure on your chest, or, something, let's see, now I don't know what's going on. Pressure on your chest. So,
Can you see it?
we can, yep. So if you want to go to the third slide.
Okay, can I take a deep breath here real quick?
You want to go to the third slide, Diane?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys, in your body, there are things, so when you have a lot of stress, it can actually weaken your heart or your brain. And so over time, we want to be able to relieve or release some of those emotions so that we don't have constant aches and pains and dis-ease in our body, especially in our organs. Next slide, please.
Sorry, I had to take a breath.
Okay, so globally, you guys, suicide is the 4th leading cause of death among the ages of 15 to 29. Now, when I heard that, I was really surprised that it was so young, right? And then it kind of also surprised me that it wasn't of older, but it's like this middle generation of people who are, that are turning to taking their lives because at some point they don't feel like they have a solution. 284 million people suffer from anxiety or disorder worldwide. Now, that is only the numbers that have been reported. Can you imagine how many people have not gone to a doctor or have not reported that they are feeling anxious and they've got all this anxiety? So there's been 11 million deaths annually, and it's crazy, all the things. So on the right hand side, or in the middle of the page, we have a map of consciousness from Dr. Hawkins. Now, anyone who has experienced Dr. Hawkins at all, he studies where people are on a emotional level. And we know that shame is one of the lowest vibrations that a person can experience. And then the highest is, when you're full of peace and you're enlightened and life is good and everything is working really well. Now, I've put a few of the oils up that'll share, it'll show how they can help change your vibration. Now, in some cases, you guys, you might have somebody who's really gone through a lot of stuff, and maybe they're feeling a lot of guilt, or maybe they're fearful. And these are all things that we can, up level, and we can bring into a new area, but in a lot of times we can't take somebody who, is feeling a ton of shame and go, well, what's wrong? Just be happy. Why aren't you happy? Because they don't even know how to vibrate at that level. Okay, next screen, please. So did you know that one drop of essential oil impacts over 40 million trillion molecules? So I think this is so exciting because as soon as we put a drop of oil on our hands, on our feet, some cases we're breathing them in, it has, within minutes, it's affected every cell in our body. And they're super dynamic because the essential oils are like these little tiny messengers that will go in and they can actually disrupt an old pattern, or they can create a new pattern in the way that we can respond. And so they serve as aromatic anchors that will help our sense, especially, and we'll talk about sense and how it affects us in just a second. Okay, next. Okay, the greatest weapon against our stress is the ability to choose one thought over another. So I want you guys to, one of the things that I love to do is it's like, I have adopted the saying, everything works out for me instead of things happening to me. And when I had that mind switch and that ability to choose that one thought, is like, okay, now this is really kind of sticky. This is a little, hard right now, but it's like, how is it working out for me? I show up and my emotions and everything changes with that one thought. Okay, next. So now we want to talk about the science, because you guys, I'm going to be quite honest with you. It's like, I'm not that sciencey person. Like, I'm not, like, when I first started using essential oils, I was like, I don't care why they work. I just want to know that they work, and I love the smells. And by smelling an essential oil, I instantly have a change in my thoughts and the way that I'm showing up and my reaction. So you guys, this is a great picture that shows that when you smell an essential oil through your nose, it enables the olfactory center, which helps to then trigger the amygdala, which is key for our bringing up old memories and emotions. And so the cool thing about this is that even when you write things or you say things, it can't trigger that emotion, that part of your brain. So the only thing that does change it is by the sense of smell. Next. So now this is showing the limbic system. So this is where in our brain, where our emotions, our hormones, our autonomic influencers. So we have in our brain, it's really cool because there's parts of us and our brain that just automatically start to work. And it's like our heart beats automatically. When we have something where we touch a hot plate, there's a message that's sent to through our limbic system that will actually trigger, oh my gosh, something just happened. There's a fight or flight, like something you need to respond. And so essential oils actually trigger the limbic system, and it helps to release stored emotions and memories. Everything, and it can go all the way back from when you were a child. So just like sometimes I'll hear a song on the radio, I'm like, oh gosh, that takes me right to the spot when I was a little girl. Or I'll smell something like tapioca pudding or rice pudding or something cooking, and it takes me to a memory from when I was a little girl sitting at my grandma's kitchen table. So how many of you guys can relate to that trigger of smell or sound, or being able to hear something can take us to a spot? Okay, next. So there is power in aroma. And sometimes people will ask us, it's like, but I can't smell. So anosmia is when people have lost their sense of smell or have never had a sense of smell. And so I'm happy to tell you that even whether you can smell it or not, there's power in it. And just by having that aroma go in through your nose and into your brain, it triggers and tells us how we get to respond. So it can change like if we smell lemon, or if we even talk about lemon, right? My mouth will start watering. The second somebody says, oh my gosh, have you tried lemonade? It's like, oh, I can feel it. And so, okay, next. So why is diffusing important versus, because we can use doTERRA internally, we can use it topically, but why is it so important with our emotions? Well, the science has shown us already that it's the only way that our sense of smell is 10,000 times more sensitive than any of our other senses. So by smelling something, it triggers that brain part that then tells us how to react, memories or mood, or to be able to reduce tension. So by diffusing, you guys, it unlocks the amygdala and it gets to start working. Next. So now that we know how the sense of smell and why diffusing and smelling essential oils is so beneficial, I want to introduce you guys to our adaptive system and some of the other products that doTERRA has that can instantly help to focus on whatever area it is that we need support in. So our adaptive system, if you guys have used adaptive, or which is your favorite of the adaptive system, go ahead and put that in the chat. You guys, I use all three of these. And you'll see that right down the middle, there's the roller bottle and the essential oil on the left. Now, those are a different formula than the capsules, which are on the right. Now, we have a lot of the things, so they both target stress relief. One is more calming, one is more uplifting, one is more soothing, where the other one has omegas in it. Now, the capsule is something that I use every single day. I use them to help cope with some of life's stuff, right? So the adaptive system is really targeted in being able to support us in all these different areas. Next. Now we're going to break it down, you guys. So we have adaptive comes in a 15 ml, which is 250 drops of pure essential oil. It is also available in a 10 ml roller touch. Anytime you see touch on the bottle or the label, you know that it has been perfectly diluted, so it's safe for everyone in our household. Now, this is a blend of botanicals and essential oils that really help to reduce tension and help us to feel like we can make it through different difficult situations, or when we have new surroundings, or maybe we're being faced with a new situation. Maybe you're working with somebody that you don't like or something, right? So the touch is something that you can apply just like you would perfume. So you can put it on your wrists, you can put it on your neck, behind your ears like you would perfume. You can put it across the back of your neck. You can also put it on the bottoms of your feet. So anytime somebody doesn't really love the smell of essential oils, I'll go bottom of the feet. But what we know about smell and scent and emotions is it's really important to get it into our nose so that it can then trigger our brain to do what it's supposed to do. So roll those or drop a couple oils into your palm of your hand, rub your hands together, kind of cup it over your mouth, and take at least 2 or 3 deep breaths. And when I do this, you guys, I can literally feel myself go from being tense to just kind of feeling so calm, and I can feel my shoulders go down and everything changes. Now, I love using both of these for different reasons. One of the things ways I love to use the adaptive oil is I'll take a scoop or a cup of Epsom salt, and I'll put a couple of drops of the oil in there. I mix it up, and then I put it in a nice hot soak. You can also use it as a foot soak if you want to, but mainly you want to be able to get it out, get it on you. You can take that roller and just kind of tap it underneath your nose, especially if you need that reminder. Of course, we also have diffuser jewelry that you can put the drop on and be able to wear it, anytime you need. One of the hacks that I like, especially with my kids, is I'll take their ball caps and I'll drop a couple of drops of the essential oil in the rim of their hat. And then when they put it on, it's right there, right close to their head and their brain. So they're getting those benefits. Okay, the next one. Now, the adaptive capsules, like I said, are a different formula than the essential oil and the roller ball. So these are ones, you guys, this has ahi flower in it. It has extra omegas in it. So it really does help calm from the inside out. Now, I find that when people take this on a regular basis, so if you are super anxious, the more you take this, the longer you take it consistently, the better results you're going to have. You can also use this as a one-off. So if you're getting ready to go take a test, or maybe you're going in for a job interview and you don't usually have anxiety, but now you do, you could take that before, and it's really going to help calm everything and support that mood so that you can be in a good state of mind with and be able to, answer the questions and all the things. Plus, when we're anxious, just like you just witnessed, it's a little difficult, right? It's like, okay, wait, there's too much going on. We can't, what are we going to do here? And so just being able to take that deep breath, and Diane did exactly what she should. It's like, okay, I got to take a deep breath and let's get going. On the right-hand corner at the top, you guys, there is adaptive, which is super calming for coping and anxiety. You have copaiba in a gel cap, which is really great for all four of your body stressor systems, whether it's skin, gut, emotion, heart health. This is really good. And then we also have Serenity soft gels, which we'll talk about in just a few minutes. Okay, so we have adaptive, and now we're going into Shinrin Yoku, which is forest bathing. You guys, this is such a beautiful scent of essential oils. It was formulated with the purpose in mind to help people who are sitting at a desk all day long, or on the computer all day, or have, paperwork, and just have all the things where we don't take time to get outside into nature and to really get grounded and to be able to clear our mind and release all of the things that we're holding in, emotionally. So this ingredients is lemon, patchouli, magnolia, Siberian fir, cypress, cardamom, hinoki, lavulin, grapefruit, geranium, and lemon petitgrain. And it just smells like magic to me. When I look at this picture, this is exactly what it does. So what I did when I first got this blend is I have a favorite place in our canyon. I go up to it often, and I wanted to anchor that experience with the emotions and the scent. So I went up into the canyon, I opened up the oil, I put it on, I breathed it in really good, and I just sat there and I really soaked in the peace, the quiet, the calming. I felt super grounded in the area, and and by smelling that oil, and I also took a short video, like a 1-minute video of the stream and the water running down it. So then when I come back into town, or I have a day that's just full of chaos, I can take a 1-minute break. I can put that oil on, I can take the 3 deep breaths, and I can watch that video, and it takes me straight to that place, because I don't always have time to take a 20-minute drive up into the canyon. So I love that we can use essential oils to really anchor in and change our mood. Now you can also see that this has all these other benefits, and I want to encourage you guys, as we're going through this presentation, you can take screenshots so that you can come back and you can go, wait, which one was it that helped to lower blood pressure? Was this one? Okay, next. So now another really cool area that doTERRA has, I think it's been about 5 or 6 years ago, they came up with the emotional essential oil aromatherapy. As you can see, each one of the oils is listed here, and then underneath it, it kind of tells you the emotion that it will help to reverse or change. I love also, by just looking at the label, you guys can figure it out. So I was talking with a gal today, she came in, she's like, I just don't even know what to do. Like, my daughter is distraught, and she just needs to be consoled. And she kept talking, and pretty soon I said, you said it right there in your sentence. She needs to be consoled. So we got console out. We looked at the label. We looked up the emotion of it. She's like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what she needs. And then she said, but how does she use it? And I recommended that she put it in her hand. She could wear it like perfume, and she could also diffuse it in the area. So if you have somebody that that you love, or you're working in an environment and you want to have more peace or more consoling, or maybe we just need to be happy and motivated, you can use those essential oils in a diffuser, and you're going to impact and have an influence on the entire area. This is one thing I absolutely love about these. Now, each one of these is also available in a roller touch, which is already diluted. These in the 5 mLs are 85 drops in each one, and they are pure essential oil. So they're strong. So anytime you have a small bottle, you guys, a little bit goes a long ways. Okay, next. All right, so I love this because sometimes people are like, okay, but I don't have peace, or I don't have cheer, but I have these other ones. And so the chart on the left, you guys, you can see it's categorized in mints and citruses, spices, and herbs. So if you have somebody, and this is another one I would take a picture of, because if you're dealing with, maybe you're grieving, and you also are super fearful or worried about what else is happening, then you can see that you would take a tree oil and a floral oil, and you would have that combined. Now that's where console comes in. Or maybe you have somebody that is, let's see, just, anxious and gloomy and down. It's like, gosh, the old ain't it awful club. Well, then we know that if you have a mint oil or a citrus oil, you can combine those and get both of those things at once. If you just have somebody who's just super anxious all the time, you guys, mint would be a great one to look at. And so I love this chart because it gives us outside of the box how we can look at these oils. Okay. All right, so a few years ago, there was a study done in an oncology hospital. It was a nonprofit, and they had all of the emotional oils in a place where people got to come in and look at the meaning of them, look at the emotional benefits of them, and the label on there, and they got to use them freely and which one would best support them. You guys, the number one essential oil that was chosen was Forgive. Now, I love Forgive because we can use this to help us when we need to forgive ourselves. So I don't know about you, but I have had situations where I'm like, why did I do that? Like, why did I act that way? And I need to be able to forgive myself on that so that I can make it better. Or maybe something has happened to you that you've had no control over, and you really want to be able to forgive that situation. It really, when it comes to forgiveness, you guys, it's more about how we respond to whatever it was that happened to us, not necessarily what we went through. It's, are we going to forgive and forget and move on? Or are we going to hold on to that anger and that guilt? And what we know from the very beginning of this class was when we hold on to anger and guilt, it has effects on our liver and our kidneys. And so that's just food for thought, you guys, is if you have something going on, there's more to this picture. Okay, next. Now, this is a hug in a bottle. Like anytime you know somebody that just needs comforted, I love having essential oils in my back pocket always, literally, because when I run into somebody or if I'm face to face, maybe somebody's walking up to me at the grocery store, and just by looking at their face, you can usually tell that they're going through a difficult time, like something's going on. And I know without even saying a word, I have an essential oil that I can put on them or have them smell that will offer them some kind of support. You guys, this one is a hug in a bottle. When you look at it, it has frankincense, which is the oil of truth. And when in doubt, you get the frankincense out, right? Then you have patchouli, which is really grounding, and it helps us feel secure in who we are and what our purpose is. Ylang ylang is the oil for the inner child. So how would you face each day differently if you went back to when you were 12 years old and didn't have all the worries? Like you could just literally say, I'm not worried. Like, okay, I'm going to live today free of all that stuff. That's what ylang ylang does. And then you have sandalwood, which is for scattered or overmind or thoughts that just overwhelm and you can't, scattered everywhere, and you've got that jumble going on. Well, a great place to put the essential oils, you guys, is first, what we know about any of the emotion ones, you get them in your hand, you get them up to your nose, and you take a few deep breaths. One thing I want to mention right here, right now, is sometimes I'll be working with people or I'll say, gosh, how did you like that oil? Or have you been using it? Oh yeah, I used it in the morning, but I don't use it. I use it once. And I'm like, gosh, every time my life gets disrupted, I'm going, okay, what oil do I need? And I have them, you guys, I put them on multiple times throughout the day. It's just like saying, well, I showered last week. I don't need to shower again because I showered last week. And it's like, no, you need to shower every day or, close to it. So the essential oils are the same way. We need to continue to use them throughout the day when we're having different emotions or when we're having different thoughts, or if there's something that comes up that really knocks us off of our feet, get those oils out and use them. You guys, in some cases, it's every minute. And then the minute turns into a day or hours, it's like use them when you need. Now, the mood oils are something that we've had for a really long time. These are all really good go-to essential oils. The balance was my grounding oil. This was my go-to. So if you have one of these that you use on a regular basis, you guys put it in the chat. I know, Citrus Bliss is really great. It's like a creamsicle. It's uplifting. It has vanilla. It has tons of different citrus oils in it. So anytime you're feeling like, gosh, I just don't even know, then get it out. it's like a burst of sunshine. Serenity is a go-to for me every day. I don't know. I use a lot of oils, you guys. That's just who I am. But there are one of these for everybody, whether you're feeling like there's no peace, you have no passion, you are stressed about a lot of things, or you're feeling completely overwhelmed and fatigued. And I love this chart because you can at a glance see which one's going to best support you. Okay, next. All right, so this is something I'm hugely passionate about. How many of you guys, tell us in the chat, have the Emotion Essential Oils book? Okay, when I first got introduced to this, I'm like, no, I'm not going down the emotional thing. I get that herbs and trees and scents and smells are really good and they, can support us in different ways because I was raised with herbs. But when I was introduced to each essential oil has an emotional benefit, I'm going, ha, no way. And then I was, then the more that I worked with people on this, the more I would go to the emotions first. What I love about this is you can go to essentialemotions.com and you can get any of the products that they sell. In the back of the book, there's a chart and it has the little smiley faces and the, kind of a chart like what we first started with tonight, where you can at a glance look at how are you feeling? Because when you're talking with a child, they can't tell you how they feel. And most adults can't either. So by looking at it, or even better is to say, okay, kids, tell me what your mom's feeling. And they can point right to the picture. And then you can look up that word and find out the best support. They also have a wheel, which is shown here, which what do you want to feel more of? And then when it says joy and happiness and content and free. And so you look up that word and then it's going to point to the oils that are going to best support you with that feeling. On the flip side of that chart, it says, what do you want to feel less of? So sometimes, people are like, I don't even know what I want to feel more of. And I'll say, well, what do you want to feel less of? And they're like, well, I want to feel less fear. Okay, well, let's look up fear. So in the picture, it says, I want to feel more confident. So when you look up the word confident, it brings up into the book, it has apply. Then it will tell you where to apply the essential oil. And that little arrow down says, let's look deeper. Like, what is it that I'm concerned with? Or why am I concerned with the opinions of others? And then it gives you an affirmation, which you can change the story in your head. So back to that picture in the beginning is when we change our thoughts, we change our results. So I can move forward with confidence and feel safe and secure. Okay, next. Now here's a snapshot of Serenity. So you guys, this is one of my favorite products from doTERRA. I use the entire system. I use it every single day. I use it multiple ways. In the middle, you can see it comes in a capsule. It also comes in a Serenity stick, which is kind of like a deodorant stick. So you can just apply it wherever you need and you don't have to worry about getting on your hands. Plus the delivery of that stays topical so you can smell it a lot longer. And then of course it comes in a 15 ml bottle, which has 250 drops. Now, so it is the oil of tranquility. So on the left-hand side, you guys, it goes into the emotions that it helps to support. So it has an effective, a powerful effect on the mind and the heart. It's uniquely calming and blends and invites individuals to relinquish feelings of stress. Now, if I look at the pictures on the right hand, now when I told you, okay, when you look it up, it's going to say, okay, what do I do with it? So you can apply it into your hands and you can smell it. You could put it, like if you're feeling some kind of emotion, you feel it in your heart. So that's where I would apply it, is here. And then it tells you to ask a deeper question or look deeper. And then it's going to have you affirm, how do I change the story and get a different result? And so you guys, these tools are there for you to really work through an emotion. And I say, gosh, if you're feeling something and it's been there for a while, and it may take a week, it may take 2 days, it may take a year. You guys, I carried balance for an entire year in my pocket before one day I forgot, And so everybody's different, everybody's situation is different. And I know that we can rewire the outcome by smelling it and getting it into our amygdala and having our olfactory, do its work. Okay, next. Now, here are three cards that just kind of go also deeper into the emotions and the benefits. So I love Melissa, you guys. If you're watching the replay, if you're watching, here with us live, we have a 21-day challenge of Melissa and Blue Tansy that we're using it every single day. And to be able to listen to the results and to see what people are experiencing is just so amazing. And it's so heartwarming. Melissa is known as the oil of the light. Diane, do you want to read or do you want to tell them about this?
I'm awake now.
Okay.
All right. So Melissa is one of the, first I want to like talk about some of the ways that you can use Melissa. So we often tend to grab these essential oils for physical ailments. Like Melissa's very, very highly antiviral. And I know this is an emotions class, but I got to bring this up. And so when it's really, really good, like if you have a cold sore or if you're dealing with that little virus that was going around or any viruses that are going around. So to take this internally is very, very powerful and very potent. But emotionally, Melissa, as it says, there's the oil of light. And so this just helps us to see that there is still light out there and there's light in us. And one of the ways that we can use this is to take the bottle and just tip the bottle over on your thumb, because it doesn't take very much, and hold it on the roof of your mouth for about 20 seconds. This will help you to go from feeling hopeless, burdened, despaired, all of those things, the loss of the will to live. It will help take you to that lighter place where we need to stay. I would like to just do a quick testimonial here. I have a colleague that I work with whose daughter took her own life several years ago, and she starts her day every single day with Melissa. Coincidentally, her daughter's name was Melissa, and so this is her way of connecting to her daughter and to also helping her to make it through every day.
It's a big deal, you guys. Melissa plays such a huge role in so many people's lives. And I know for my son and myself, we use this every day. And we've been putting it in this drink that we've been drinking. But today I said, Brian, come on in. And I said, put it on your thumb and put it in the roof of your mouth with me. Because of course I'm doing the challenge and he's laughing at me. And he goes, Mom, I use this all the time. And I'm like, I'm so grateful that you take the time to use something like this because it really is something, you guys, that and by putting it on the roof of your mouth, it's going into your bloodstream instantly and you're getting that result in your body. And so back to, you can use them aromatic, topical, or internal. There's a different purpose and a different result with each one. I want to speak to bergamot just for a second. Is we've been doing a lot of studying and learning about with people that have had traumatic experiences, whether it's PTSD related, whether it's, trauma from sexual abuse or, who knows what the trauma is that they've shown. We have Dr. Danielle Daniels, who has got her doctorate, and part of her studies and her paper was written on bergamot and the effects when people are, dropping it in their hand and taking at least 3 to 5 deep breaths from that every 3 or 4 hours throughout the day. And then they found that they had huge results with that. Just in the mindset, it doesn't make the pain go away. It doesn't make the thing, but what it does is it helps them to be able to face the things that they've experienced and not be burdened by it anymore and being able to go through it. And then to further that, she said that they started diffusing it 24, at night or 24 hours a day. And by day 21, there was huge impact on people who had had that PTSD. So she worked with vets and she worked with firefighters and then just with other people. But I mean, you guys, bergamot is such a powerhouse when it comes to supporting us. And it is the oil of self-assurance or self-acceptance. And so physically it can help, I've been using bergamot and I've been diffusing it in my house and I love it. I've always had a draw for bergamot. Okay. So for change, you must change your routine and your thoughts. So one of the things that we recommend is pick an oil that speaks to you. So what that means is if you go to your essential oils, you may only have 4. But if there's one that you keep thinking about, it's like, gosh, I wonder what that is even for. I would say get it out and use it. Find out the emotions, go into our good vibes, do a search, find out all the ways that it can benefit you because there's a reason that that one is kind of standing out. Also, remember, what do you want to feel less of or what do you want to feel more of? These are questions that if once you can decide that or figure that out, then you have a way that you can make a plan. And you guys, I highly recommend you each get that book because it has been such a great tool for any time I am talking with somebody about anything. I can always go in, and even if they're not reading it, I have a tool that I can help guide them, you know. And then use your essential oils, you guys. And for some, it might be, every 15 minutes. For some, it might be every hour. But every day you should be getting out something in the morning. It's like, what do I want to feel more of today? And you can go, and as you learn and as you're coming to these classes, you're empowering yourself for you and your families or your friends, and then you'll know what to do with them. And then you can always journal down what your feelings are. I love gratitude journaling. I do a gratitude jar. And even so, whether I'm having a really good day or an off day or a real full day, I write these things down because as I am reflecting back on them, especially if I've gone through something really difficult and I read through it later, then it reminds me that I can go through difficult times and I can still survive. So journaling is really important. And then get outside. That was one of the biggest tips that I gave this gal today is get your family and get your kids outside. Even if you just go outside for 2 minutes, set a timer, no electronics, no nothing. Sit by yourself if you want to, get on the ground, take your shoes off, and just breathe in the earth. Take a minute, pause, breathe, and reflect on what do I want to experience? Or how am I going to, what's the result in this? Okay, next. So you guys, this is just a 15-minute morning routine ideas. And, sometimes it might start with 1 or 2 minutes and maybe it's 5 minutes. If you're like me, it's like I'm up to like 30 or 40 minutes. And I love being able to start my day out right. It seems like when I have an intention and I start out with joy and happiness. So when you wake up in the morning, if the first thing you're doing is looking at your social media, you're instantly plugged into chaos and judgment and comparison and all of the things. And so give yourself at least 5 or 10 minutes in the morning to get grounded. I'll put in my diffuser uplifting oils. I always have balance that sits next to my bed that I get out. I breathe it in and I put it on the bottoms of my feet. I do spend time in prayer and meditation. And then I always take time to write down at least 3 things that I'm grateful for. I start every morning with a big glass of water, and then I usually put like tangerine is the one I'm going to right now. I love lime, I love green mandarin. There's so many of them. And then I try to, get my body moving and get going, and I'm listening to something. I love habit stacking. So if you are a person who has a lot of things to do, well, then, maybe I'm stretching while I'm listening to a meditation, or, I'm listening to something inspiring while I'm on my walk, and I'm drinking a big glass of water. We have a ton of essential oils, you guys, that can help create the day and the mindset to live the best day possible. We've got Jules. I don't know if Jules is here with us, but, she started a phrase, it's a great day for a great day on purpose. And so, once you start that, then even if you have something that is off balance or, sticky or upsetting, you're going to start out better. Okay, next. So you guys, we can't end this class without telling you the best way to buy your essential oils and the smartest way to purchase. On the left-hand side, there's loyalty rewards. You guys, it's the only way that I order. In the beginning, I was that person who said, no freaking way. Like, I am not doing it. I don't need to get into something where, I'm locked in and I can't get out. Well, you guys can adjust your loyalty order every single month. You can have one thing, you can have 100 things. You can say where you want it to ship. You can say when you want it to ship. You can use points. You can choose your shipping. And you guys, if you have your order go ship before the 15th and it's at least 125, doTERRA says thank you and they give you a free gift every single month. The other thing that we're going to point out here is there's a smarter way than just buying on your loyalty rewards is when you're purchasing Lifelong Vitality or the MetaPower system, a little menu, and also in the skincare, like there's a bunch of different ways when you buy the entire pack, then a drop down menu comes and you can buy additional things at way below wholesale. Some of these things, you guys, are 45% off. And so doTERRA knows that everybody is, spending more for things and we want to help get more bang for your buck. So really pay attention. And if you guys are not familiar with this, make sure you reach out to the person who invited you here tonight, because we want to make sure that you are getting your points and that you are getting it at the best value below wholesale. I turned in 386 points or something like that this month of free stuff. And I'm going to point, all right, so you start at 10% off or 10% back in points for the first 3 months, and it goes all the way up to 30% over a year, you guys. I don't know another membership program out there that offers that kind of rewards back for your spending. So why not buy from your own store? I've replaced all of my cleaning products, all of my facial stuff. I mean, I'm definitely a doTERRA from head to toe. All right, next. Okay, you guys, that is the end of our class. We want to say thank you for joining us. There is a QR code. If you guys want to take a picture or open that up, that'll take you to everything that we offer. It has links to how to place orders, how to join our Facebook, how to get our newsletter, all the different things. If you are like me, I need a reminder that is that 15-minute reminder that says, hey, class is getting ready to start. You can text the word class reminders to 534-429-5392. And you'll get a reminder that also includes the Zoom link. So it's a one click and you can join us. We also have recordings. If you are interested in those, make sure you reach out to the person who invited you and say, hey, I'd like to have a class recording on, you name the topic. We've been doing this for years. And then we offer a free gift. We are in the process of creating a volume 2 of our recipe book. But when you attend 8 of our Zoom classes, that could be a Monday or a Tuesday, and you text the word class to the same number, which is 534-429-5392 with the class and the topic. So for tonight, you could just put class, chaos. And that will get you registered in to get that free recipe book. It automatically notifies us. And then when you have your classes, then we reach out and we send that to you. Okay, our next class, you guys, is, I think this is wrong. I think it's actually spa. Oh, it is a spa, aroma, touch, and symphony of the cells. Hello, my name is Hayley, and I'm just getting started here. All right, you guys, thank you so much. And so we're going to open it up for questions and questions, and hopefully we have the answers. Oh my gosh, this is a funny class. Thank you for bearing and sticking out with us, you guys, because it was intense. Okay, Diane, is there anything you want to say? And then you guys, if you have questions, we're here for you to ask those questions.
I'm good, Hayley.
Okay. I did not read the chat. You probably didn't either.
I kind of did a little bit.
And I did make a few recommendations, but I want to hear from you guys. What are the best oils for patients?
Yep, I answered that one too. I'm going to look up patience in the emotions book just for grins. But I just like to speak to a couple of things. You mentioned, Hayley, about have your oils where you're going to use them. I keep Peace roller on my bedside table when I can't shut my brain off at night. This goes across my forehead. I breathe it in. I start my day every day with motivate and cheer, because I teach 6th graders and I need to be motivated and I need to be cheerful. Two of my favorite oils together are Peace and Forgive. Those are really, really nice together also. I love all the emotion oils. Of course I use all the oils, but those are kind of near and dear to my heart. I love that collection. So anyway, I'm going to look up patience. Well, see if anybody has any other questions.
Sarah, were there more questions?
There were not. I just wanted to share my testimony on Jeremiah because he's going to let me. So we are partaking in the Melissa Blue Tansy Challenge. And like Hayley said, Melissa on the roof of your mouth. I take 3 deep breaths. 3 is a magic number, and then 3 swipes on the roof of my mouth. And then Blue Tansy on your big toe. And you guys, it's amazing. So I have an 8-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they're not keen on putting Melissa on the roof of their mouth. So we started putting it on their big toe. There he is. We started putting it on their big toes, encouraging of Hayley. And it's really cool because they've really taken accountability and kept me accountable. It's really, really neat. Hey, Mom, we got to take pictures of our blue tansy, our big toe, and all the things. And Jeremiah has his ups and downs. And he actually, he might share it too. It's really cool. And he has a really hard time staying, would you say happy? Would you say elevated?
Yeah.
He has a lot of down days. And for the last 3 years, we were just really concerned. We talked about counseling. We've talked about numerous things. He had some really good days. The probiotic worked, and for about 6 months, and then he would come down, and it was a lot of negativity. And you guys, we're on day 9, and he wakes up happy. He goes to bed happy. He's a totally different child. Totally different. So it does work really, really well emotionally, and it's absolutely insane how it just immediately gets into their system. And he doesn't even really know the depth of it. He just knows mommy's doing a challenge. So it works on everybody, I promise.
I love that, Sarah. That is just, and I love that you're empowering your kids at this young age. All right, so patience. To be patient, balance, time, neroli, forgive, serenity, magnolia, nioli, or supermint. And I have a story about neroli. I carried neroli around in my back pocket for a whole school year because I had a student that was the most disruptive student I've ever had. Like all day long, this child was a handful. I mean, I had an agreement with the office that if I just had enough, I could just send him down. No questions asked, just he needs to go. But I carried neroli around in my back pocket and I used it all. You talked about, you might need it every 5 minutes. Yeah, I needed it all day long. So there's some great ones there for patients. And I'm going to encourage all of you to get the book because it really is a powerful tool for looking at what you're feeling, why we're feeling it, and how can we change.
Until you guys get the book, if you go into Good Vibes and you search, say neroli emotions, it should pop up. We've done so many classes, and so we try to do some snapshots of the book and the pictures. And we've also gone in detail how to use the book because there's so many really cool things. And so you can go in there and just put, I don't remember, emotional overview book or emotions essential oil overview book or something.
Essential emotions, probably, yeah.
And then I can't remember what we called the actual class, but we've done multiples of them and you'll be able to find them. I want to speak just really quick to so many of us, including, little kids, don't know why we feel like we feel. And then we feel like, gosh, I feel like this and there must be something wrong with me. I was talking with a gal this week again, and she was, and I just had the urge to tell her, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just going through something really difficult and it's okay. There are a lot of people who are experiencing exactly the same thing. And after she said, Hayley, thank you so much for telling me that because I thought I was like, there was something really wrong with me. and that I was feeling this way and I just, I needed to go get help or something. And it's not that we would ever discourage going and getting help because, gosh, let's be honest. I think all of us could use some counseling. And we do have tools that can help us get through by just taking a deep breath. When people are grieving, especially, or have suffered from a loss, one of my favorite recipes, you guys, has breathe oil in it. And people are like, why breathe? And it's like, well, because we need to like take a deep breath, and that emotion of grief holds on to our chest. Well, what's in our chest? Our lungs. And when people have respiratory stress, whether it's from, it doesn't matter what it's from, most all of it is triggered by an emotion or a long period of time of holding an emotion. So it gets triggered very easily when seasonal threats come, when there's something that is, heavy in the air or whatever. And so our goal here, like always, is, gosh, you guys, we want to empower you with real conversations, with tools on things that are working for people. That if we can keep or lower or eliminate one over-the-counter drug or one medication by using an oil, we've done our job. Like if we can teach our kids, like I love that Jeremiah and Levi, they've been raised with essential oils. That's what they turn to first, and in some cases, you guys, it takes a little bit of time and it takes a little bit of patience to get the result. Because if you've been down the road of having a overwhelming situation for a long time, and then it can't, like that chart at the very beginning, you can't go from feeling shame and guilt to feeling joy and happiness. You got to do some work in between. And as you work through those emotions, there's layers. It's like an onion, you're peeling things back. And about the time I think, oh gosh, I've got that figured out, or I feel so much better. It's like, boom, here we go. We're going to check that out and we're going to see, and life happens. And then I get to go back into what I know. I go into the book, and exactly what I'm sharing with you guys, I do exactly that same thing for myself. And it's been amazing. It's been absolutely incredible, the results, and that we do have something that can help, even if it just helps for a minute, Okay, anybody have any questions?
We must have done a good job. You must have done a good job.
Well, we kind of it was intense to get started tonight. So we really appreciate you guys in the way you show up and you stuck with us.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out. Sometimes it could be as simple as, and what popped into my head as we're going through it is maybe there was an update on my computer that automatically did something to where it's harder to share or something. Because you guys, we do this all the time. And so we'll get it figured out by next class for sure. Okay. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you guys, and we will see you next time.
Bye, everyone.